Now, I would imagine, after these predictions, that I know what you're saying, something major happened. Of course, I'm talking about Toegate. No, that's not major. I'm talking about the retirement of Andrew Luck. So, as I said, I would use my power to make changes in predictions if it looked like it was going to greatly affect stuff, and I would say it has. So, as you can see here, I had the Colts as the top wild card and making the playoffs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust all the games for the Colts and how that affects week 17, potentially week 16 picks. So like and subscribe, hate and comment. You may be saying, okay, Andrew Luck retired, but what about all the other players that were injured? What about major injuries for the Texans? And the reality is, there's only four players there are only four times that your record is greatly affected by more than half a game. You lose your quarterback, you lose your head coach for some reason, you lose your field goal kicker, and you lose your long snapper. Everything besides that seemingly has no change more than a half a game one way or the other. And so that's how we're not doing it. When it comes to quarterbacks, as of right now, the only one that would be a change is Andrew Luck. Yes, Washington has a starter with Case Keenum, but I had them going 4-6. And I do not have them, or it's going to be 4-12. I do not have a functional change at that location. And the Dolphins, both the Dolphins and the Titans, I predict will have quarterback issues all year. So unless they firmly go with, yes, this player is going to be traded to the Colts, I see that there is no fundamental change with quarterback at any other time. And so with that being said, how do I pick young Mr. Brissett? How's he going to affect things? Well, first game of the season, I'm going to pick the Chargers to win that. Now, the Titans and Colts, I had the Titans winning week 2. Colts and Falcons, I don't believe the Falcons are a playoff team. I don't believe that they will lose that game, though, so they're going to start 0-3. Now, I do have the Colts continuing to win week 4. And I'll predict that the Chiefs will win on Sunday night. So they're going to start the season 1-5. Or it's going to be 1-4. And they're going to come after the bye. I do have them beating the Texans because they are coming off of a bye. But then I would have them lose to the Broncos. I'll have them lose to the Steelers. I'll have them lose to the Dolphins. Coming out of the Jags bye, I still have that being the same. I do think that they will win on the short week on the road. I'm going to flip it. Or actually, I'm not going to flip it. I'm still going to take the Texans. I do think that they do beat the Titans in week 13. As for the Bucs, by that point, both teams would be awful. I think Brissett is a better quarterback than what you're going to see in Tampa Bay, and I don't think you're going to have a slow-up game. On Monday night, I would pick the Saints, and I'm going to pick the... I'm going to keep the Colts for that week, and then we're going to go into week 17 so that we're all on the same page. Now, in week 17, I'm going to take these all, well, I'll leave them here. Broncos and Bengals, I don't think that changes anything. The Jets, actually, I'm going to take off the AFC, just so that I'm sort of all on the same page here. So going into that week, I still think that game ends up in a tie. And I think the Monday night game is going to be on the other side. It'll be Vikings and Bears. So at this point, the Jets would be winning to... we'll start with the Chiefs. Chiefs are no longer The Chiefs would have one loss going into there. Be playing the Chargers. The Chargers would be 9-6 on the outside looking in. I think the Chiefs, knowing their head coach, they would intentionally lose that game now. So the Chargers would win that game. Jets and Bills, the Jets would be in the playoffs, and having won the AFC East, that did not change. They're going to win that game now because they're playing for the bye. Potentially. Colts and Jaguars. Jaguars are trying to make the playoffs. They're going to take the Jags. Dolphins and Patriots. Patriots are still trying to make the playoffs. They're going to win that game. Ravens and Steelers. The Ravens would have a very outside chance to make the playoffs. Steelers be going for the bye. They're going to take the Steelers. Titans and Texans. That's the Texans possibly paying for a bye. I'm going to take them. And whatever we call them, Raiders versus Broncos, I'm going to take the Broncos. On the other side, does anything functionally change that I need to care about? Yes, because I have the Saints. The Saints would win. They'd be a number 1 seed, and I'll keep that against the Panthers. That game now is no longer for a bye, unless the Bears win. And it's a Bears road. I'm still going to take the Vikings. So that's going to be a wild card game instead. Rams, I still have missing the playoffs. Okay, we're going to say nothing else changed on that end. All right. Now, for playoff spots, though, let me see. So we're going to go down. Oh, they haven't set it up. So now we're going to go into week of the playoffs. Okay. So the playoffs has definitely changed. Instead of it being the Texans hosting the Colts, the Texans are hosting the Jags. I'm going to take the Texans on home. And I have the Patriots making the playoffs now, playing the Jets. I'm going to take the Patriots. On the other side, I still have the Eagles winning. And now the Vikings, instead of having a bye, are the home team against the Panthers. I would take the Vikings. We're going to go into the divisional round. And Chiefs still have a 1 seed. Instead of playing the Colts, I've got them playing the Pats. And Mahomes is going to take the W. The Steelers are the 2 seed, playing the Texans. It's not a great matchup for the Steelers. I'm going to take the Texans. The Vikings are playing Seattle. Seattle's now the 2 seed. I'm still going to take the Seahawks. And the Saints and the Eagles. I'm going to take the Saints. So I definitely have a change in the Final Four. Conference championships. Originally I had the Chiefs and the Steelers, and I'm still going to take the Chiefs. I've got the Saints and the Seahawks. The Saints are at home. The Saints will win. So I'm changing my NFC championship prediction based on that one little game. And I'm still taking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So my prediction is the ones go all the way through, like I had before, but with new ones. And so I got the Colts going from the best team, or the second best team in the division, going all the way down to 5-10. I got the Patriots making the playoffs. And on the NFC side, nothing who makes the playoffs change, but the order changes because of that Colts game. Alrighty. So like and subscribe, hate and comment. And if any other quarterback goes down in week 4 in the preseason, which is not unusual if you're a Jets fan, then I'll change this up.